This program-length commercial is brought to you by Synchronol.
This woman has conquered a hidden problem that 9 out of 10 women suffer from. The problem is cellulite. Stay with us as we share the secrets, answer the questions, and shed new light on this fat condition that distorts the hips and thighs of millions of women across America. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to explore the cellulite controversy. You'll visit a leading cellulite treatment center in New York, the Anushka Institute. And you'll hear from doctors, authors, experts, and people who have successfully conquered their cellulite. Now, Straight Talk with Erin Gray.
I'm Erin Gray, and welcome to Straight Talk. Before we hear about the Anushka Institute's discovery, and before we hear doctors and other experts talking about the Anushka Institute's anti-cellulite program, before we meet Anushka herself, I want to share with you the part that interests me the most. The real inside stories of women who claim to know the secret of how to have cellulite-free bodies.
I tried anything and everything I could to get rid of my cellulite, and nothing ever worked. I mean, I thought it was absolutely hopeless. Then I happened to see an article in Glamour about cellulite. It mentioned Anushka's Institute, and since I live here in New York, I thought I would try it. The first time I did the program, I didn't notice anything except the way it made me feel. So I tried it a couple more times, and by the 4th day, I really saw a difference in the mirror. My thighs looked shapelier and firmer, and my skin was much smoother. I feel good about Anushka's program, but I feel even better about the way I feel about myself and the way I look.
When I discovered I was pregnant, I got worried because my mother had always told me that she developed cellulite after I was born. And sure enough, after my baby was born, I saw my first signs of cellulite. One day I noticed an article on cellulite in a magazine. I read it, and it mentioned Anushka's. I made an appointment, and after about a month, my cellulite was gone.
And now I'd like you to meet the woman who wouldn't take no for an answer when people told her that there was no way to get rid of cellulite, Anushka. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, already. They certainly seem to love you. Now, it makes me curious to find out why, so tell me. How did you get started discovering, or get started on your way to discovering your anti-cellulite program?
Really, I did it for myself. In my early 20s, I developed cellulite on my buttocks, on the back of my legs, and on my thighs. I was devastated.
Oh, I know.
No matter how much I dieted, I starved myself and exercised until I had no more strength. It would not go away.
Oh, I know. I've been there.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
I even went to doctors who told me there was no such a thing as cellulite.
You're kidding.
Would you imagine? When I pointed to that stuff on my body,
Yeah.
they said they couldn't do anything about it. And I could vividly remember one patted me in the back and said, "But darling, you're so cute. And you have such a wonderful husband. And why should you worry about it?" This made me so angry.
Oh, good.
So furious and determined to find the answer to get rid of it.
Oh, great. Thank goodness for the doctor. So what did you do?
Well, let me tell you that in the course of my research, I finally found the combination which worked to make my cellulite disappear. And I was the happiest woman on earth, needless to say.
Yes.
So that is what made me decide to start with the Anushka Institute, so other women could benefit from our discovery.
Oh, yay. Now, tell me honestly, does that mean that you don't have any cellulite?
No, not anymore.
Honest?
Honest.
Just between us?
Between the two of us, no more cellulite.
Incredible. That's great. Isn't that wonderful? Great. Well, I think this would be the perfect time to take a look at that video that you prepared for us.
First, Anushka discusses a client's figure flaws and goals and shows them how the treatment works, being careful to explain every step and assure them all the products they will be using are safe and natural. And Anushka explains how her clients receive an initial 4-week supply and how after that they'll receive a 60-day supply automatically every other month unless they notify us to stop. There are several key elements to the program, but now let's focus in on the important contouring gel and massage. The skin is massaged with our body contouring gel, which has ingredients like our specially processed French seaweed formula with its unique beneficial properties that really penetrates the skin into the cellulite layer. You can actually feel the gel working as it penetrates into the cellulite. And in days, our clients are on their way to being cellulite-free, even after years of living with cellulite.
Wow, well, tell me about the Anushka anti-cellulite program that you can use at home. I mean, how can you accomplish at home what you do at the Institute?
Well, they are virtually the same. In the Institute, we apply the treatment.
Right.
At home, you do it yourself, which is less expensive because you don't have to help us pay the high New York rent.
Right.
Many of our clients wanted to share the treatments with friends who lived outside New York. They urged us to develop a program that could be used at home. We insisted it be both easy to use and at the same time completely effective, so their friends could get the same results.
Now, we have a woman in the audience who said she used the Anushka Home Anti-Cellulite program. Vicki, could you please stand up and tell us your story?
After the first treatment, I was hooked. I really saw a difference immediately. So I did exactly what Anushka told me to do, and the cellulite came off rapidly. Each week, my hips and thighs looked better. Within 6 weeks, it was all gone. And I knew I was looking good because I do a lot of work at my church. And one of the women there came up to me and said, "Vicki, you look great. What are you doing?" I told her about Anushka's anti-cellulite program because I was really proud of myself for doing something to get back in shape. You know, I should also mention that I lost 9 pounds and a couple of inches off my hips and thighs. I feel great, and if I can judge by my friends, I'm not looking bad either.
Now, let me show you my new and exciting home video that brings 17 years of Anushka's secrets into the privacy of your own home, so you can pamper yourself at your leisure. The videotape explains our massage technique and includes great tips on exercise and nutrition.
First, you prepare the skin in the target areas by stimulating it while the skin is dry. You can use a washcloth or a loofah or a massage brush. You rub the contouring gel into the target areas you've selected with the same circular motions you used to stimulate the skin. You will immediately begin feeling the gel working. After the skin is stimulated, you apply the firming lotion, and immediately afterward, the multi-revitalizing cream. The third part of the Anushka BioResponse Body Contouring Program is the easiest of all. You simply take 2 Celluline tablets after the 2 main meals of your day.
I know many of you must be wondering whether plastic surgery is a solution to the cellulite problem. After all, liposuction is now the #1 procedure performed by plastic surgeons, and liposuction deals specifically with fat. Now let's meet Dr. Robert Schwager, a prominent plastic surgeon who we interviewed here at his 5th Avenue office in New York. He has some very interesting comments on liposuction.
The liposuction can remove the deep layer of fat, but what we have to avoid doing is getting too close to the skin. Otherwise, rather than make the cellulite appearing skin look better, it can actually look worse. After liposuction, I needed a place that would be suitable to apply the deep massage necessary to smooth out the superficial fat, or cellulite as you've described. I spoke to colleagues who recommended the Anushka Institute, and since then, I've had the opportunity to send many patients there, all of whom have had excellent things to say. As you can see with this photograph, I have some patients that had an opportunity to undergo my liposuction, followed by the Anushka program. And you can see from the picture on the left that there's certainly a significant difference in this patient before surgery or preoperatively, as you can see afterwards. I think the combination of my liposuction and the Anushka Institute's program has certainly produced results superior to those by liposuction alone.
Many doctors and others in the medical community are enthusiastic about the Anushka program. So we went to the office of Dr. Robert Sassoon, a leading obstetrician.
As an obstetrician, I see women with a variety of problems, and I can honestly say that cellulite is not probably one of the more serious problems I see on a day-to-day basis. But I do have some patients who are models and actresses who can't afford to have a cellulite problem. As a result of pregnancy, often women will have cellulite, and they're very concerned about this.
As Dr. Sassoon noted, models are people who can't afford to have cellulite. Most women only have to face a mirror. Models have to face the unforgiving eye of the camera. Dr. Sassoon thought you'd like to meet a model who has used the Anushka program. So it's a pleasure to introduce to you a former Miss Kentucky who is now a New York model, Lyda Lewis. Welcome, welcome. My dear, you are so thin and young that you couldn't possibly have cellulite lumps.
I don't anymore.
Ah.
But it doesn't matter how thin you are. It's a problem that affects almost every woman I know. You'd be surprised how many models are hiding a cellulite problem under their high-fashion
Really?
clothes.
Now, tell me, when did you begin to have a problem?
Well, when I won the Miss Kentucky title, I was in great shape. And afterwards, I continued dancing to stay that way. I thought cellulite was something that only happened to you when you got a lot older. But years before I expected it to happen, I got it. Fortunately, one of the models I knew had had the same problem. She told me there was only one way to handle it: get over to the Anushka Institute as fast as I could. That's one nice thing about being a model. We share our secrets with each other.
Ah, that's nice. So, you did the program at the Institute?
Well, the day I was supposed to start the program at the Institute, I got an assignment out of town. Anushka told me that I could take her anti-cellulite program with me. I was concerned about whether I would get the same results as my friend if I did it myself. But here I am, living proof that you don't have to go to the Anushka Institute to use Anushka's anti-cellulite program. It's so easy, it worked for me in a hotel room.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you very much, Lyda, for sharing that with us. And it's reassuring to find out that even beauty contest winners have struggled with the same beauty problems that we all have. I mean, we're certainly not all fashion models. In fact, most of us are busy juggling career and home responsibilities. So why don't we speak to Linda Marshall, who is from the heart of the Midwest. Linda?
I'm from Madison, Wisconsin, and I've always felt it was important to take care of your body and the way you looked. And it isn't easy when you have small children and family and PTA and Cub Scouts, but it's easy compared to what happens to us after we hit our 40s. My search for a cellulite program goes back a million years. In fact, I'll never forget one day when my sons were very little and we were walking down the beach, and my young son came up behind me and he said, "What's this cellulite behind you?" The horror of that moment. I then began looking for everything on the market, and I've tried everything on the market, trying to find something that would in fact make a difference. Nothing worked. Then one day I saw Anushka on the Regis Philbin show, and I thought, why not try it? So I called and ordered the at-home anti-cellulite program, and I started using the products. I was so excited one day when I looked in the mirror and I could actually see a difference. It was one of the greatest moments in my life. I think it's absolutely terrific.
Please stay with us to find out what leading beauty experts think about getting rid of cellulite, and find out how one author investigated Anushka.